Begin with, I'll tell you a short story. Once there was a huge forest. A lot of animals and birds lived there happily. And one day there was a huge forest fire. And all animals and birds started fleeing the forest, except for one small hummingbird. She lived in a tree all her life. So she said, I've lived happily under your shade forever, so I'm not going to flee. So she started flying to the nearby river, started picking up bits of water from that river, started flying back to the tree, dropped the water. And she kept doing this forever. And all other animals and birds were like laughing at her. What are you doing? You'll just die. So she said, it's okay. I'm trying to do whatever I can. I'm trying to make a difference here. So hearing this, the gods came by and they were so moved by the hummingbird that there were clouds everywhere and it started raining and the forest fire was completely extinguished. So this is a folk tale from Jaisalmer, and I heard it first in TEDx Delhi when Shabnam Virmani from the Kabir Project sang it. It was so moving, it was so inspiring that I thought it would be great to start with that song. So here you go. So, today I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey to where I am today and what I am doing today, and a glimpse into a classroom from Dharavi. So, one child at a time. Why am I here and what am I doing here are the questions that were going on in my mind when I started working as a teacher with Teach for India. If you look up the statistics of dropout rates in India or the problem of educational inequity in India, they're really alarming. So I'm not going to really tell you the statistics. With just a Google search, you can find out. But if you think about it, 1 out of every 2 children, that's 50% of the children, will never make it till 8th standard or high school. And India has a very interesting demographics. More than 50% of the population will be less than 25, and no other country in the world can claim to have that. And out of that demographic, more than 50% are going to be dropouts of school. So what does that tell you? So quite often, this is how I feel as a teacher in a low-income school in Dharavi. I'm fighting against all odds. I'm fighting against so many challenges. But before that, let me tell you, why am I doing this? Let me take you back 20 years ago when I see a single mother raising 2 children with absolutely zero support. She's working 18 hours a day as a nurse, raising 20 rupees per day, just so that she can give her children the education that they deserve, and just so that she can help them break the cycle of poverty for generations to come. 2 years ago, that child was in a situation where he was thinking, okay, what can I do now that I have realized all the dreams of my mother? So that child is standing in front of you today, having taken a decision. Thank you. So having taken a decision to be that change in the life of so many children, to help them break the cycle of poverty and do what his mother did for him. So when I think back at my life and see what my mother did for me and my brother, I'd ask my mom, what made you do that? And what can I do? What will it be like if I am like you in the life of 40 plus children in a low-income school somewhere in the world? How would that be? And what kind of a geometric progression would that set off when each of these children grew up to be a teacher or a change agent and go on to educate more children, help them break the cycle of poverty? So this is why I am doing it. For 8 years, I traveled the world, worked in 8 countries, traveled to 14 countries, seen it all, and I really wanted to do something, to fight the forest fire, to start off as a hummingbird, to try and extinguish the forest fire. So all along my 8 years, I kept thinking, what can I do? The problem is so enormous. What can I do? I'm just so small. But I thought, the problem might be big, but somewhere I have to start, right? You just start somewhere and go on doing it. So I asked myself, what will I do about it? So I did the funding model. I was doing online donations, Kiva and everything. I did the funding and forget model. I did fund and feel happy model. I was helping children by donations, and I did part-time volunteering. And then I thought, no, this is not it. My mother didn't do a part-time job with me and my brother. So if I have to really bring the change in the life of children, I have to roll up my sleeves, get in, and do this for full time. That's when I came across Teach for India, and then I signed up as a Teach for India fellow to give 2 years of my life, full commitment, as a teacher in a low-income school in a slum. So what am I doing? That's the next part of my speech. So to begin with, I am teaching in a Dharavi municipal school, which is a low-income school. And to start the year, I wanted to know where my kids are. Because without knowing that, you cannot set goals. You cannot do the backward planning to know where the kids should be at the end of the year. And then I asked myself again, what will I do about it? What will we do about it? So I spoke to my children. Some of them are here today. What will we do about it? It's not just the teacher giving you. You should work hard if you want to break the cycle of poverty. Because if you look at the statistics, it tells you that out of the 50% of the dropouts, more than 74% are from low-income backgrounds. So there is a strong correlation between low-income background and dropout rates from school. Right? So I asked the kids, right, you need to work hard. And what kind of opportunities a kid gets when he grows up should not be determined by where a kid is born and brought up. Right? So I joined Teach for India as a fellow, and this was day 1, or even the first week. The kids were all sad because they had always been beaten up. They were always scared about school. They didn't want to go to school. The tuition teachers were beating them up. They were getting beaten up at home. They were getting beaten up at school. And then I was so sad to see that. When I try to give a high five to my kids, they're scared that I'm going to beat them up. And then what happened? How do I teach these children who don't understand a word of English, though they are in 2nd standard? So I have 43 children in my class, but they're all from Dharavi. But if you look at the differentiation, my kids academically are in nursery or lower KG levels. They cannot understand a word of English, and they can only understand Hindi. So here I am, someone who worked in the tech industry for 8 years, managed multi-million-dollar contracts and everything, and I walk into school, and I'm not able to manage, "Bhaiya, jor se aayi hai." The kids cannot even say a word of English. They don't know what to do. And I have 40 kids who all want to go to the toilet. I failed. Every single thing I tried to do in the classroom, I failed miserably. It was just failure after failure. But that made me think, that made me reflect. I used to go back and think, okay, how do I see this as a corporate challenge? Forget that I'm in a school, but okay, this is a major challenge in front of me, what can I do about it? That's why I thought, listen, you're in Dharavi, you need not go anywhere. You look around in Dharavi, look at the innovation that's happening around you. An example, this cotton candy seller, but you can see here, he has cotton candy there. Instead of just selling it like that, he takes 1 rupee from you, and you put a marble on top here. And there are nails jutting out here, and the marble, like a pinboard, it just drops around, and wherever it stops, whatever number below that nail, the kid gets that much worth of candy. So you get at least 1 rupee worth of candy, but you can get 5 rupee worth of candy also. So I was just awestruck when I saw that. I mean, this guy just took a very boring thing like selling a cotton candy into something so innovative and engaging that the kids were like rushing to play the game during recess. I thought, here I am with a BE, and I'm not able to teach 1 + 1 to my children in the classroom. So what do? I looked around in Dharavi, learned from the innovation that was happening on the roads, learned what the kids want, right? Rather than seeing things from my world, I want to see things from the kids' point of view, right? Their world. So here you are, the kids playing games which are discarded 30 years ago, and they fix it and play it in Dharavi. And a discarded pram has been recycled to be used as a selling point machine. And this is something you see in Dharavi every day. Nothing goes to waste. Everything is reused, and they are so resourceful. And these things came in so handy in my classroom. So as I was teaching, I walked into my classroom, and I had the traditional view of teacher, chalk piece, duster, hey, listen. And then I thought, why should a blackboard be a blackboard? Why should a floor be a floor? How can I use everything in my classroom to teach my children? Why can't the floor be the blackboard? Why can't the floor teach a lesson to the children? Where is my whiteboard? And then I thought, why can't the teacher become the whiteboard? Why can't I teach using myself as the whiteboard? Here you go, 70 rupees apron, 5 rupees sticker from Dharavi, and I have a mobile whiteboard, 75 rupees. So I move around, I write words on this. Kajal, please come here. Underline class. Oh. Nice. There you go. So rather than wasting time by teaching on the board, I go to the kids and I know who's sleeping, who's talking, who's gossiping, who's not listening. Right? So all in 75 rupees. So this is just one of the innovations in the classroom that's been very inspired by Dharavi. Next thing is, how do I teach children English from everyday objects? Why should English be taught from a textbook? Why not from everyday objects that they see? You can see there, learn English from everyday objects I see every day. So the kids bring Parle-G wrappers, Kurkure wrappers, Minute Maid bottles, and Colgate toothpaste, and we learn English from them. Right? And this permanent display is on my wall, and the kids learn English from things that they see every day around them. And then why a wall should be a wall? Why can't a wall be a fish tank? So my kids did all the fish drawing, and the fish ate up so many words, and they're swimming on the walls of the classroom. So the kids are so attached to the fish tank, they go and read words of the fish tank, and it's all been done in a very resourceful, low-cost way from Dharavi. Same thing. Why should the blackboard be a blackboard? Why can't the blackboard be a sky? And all the kites flying around on the blackboard as a sky. And the kids suggested words for the kites. Here is another picture of, when I catch a kid doing a good thing in the classroom, they get to be up on the wall. Again, an example of a blackboard being an ocean. A blackboard having, all the fridge magnets to teach kids words. A blackboard with kids, artwork. Oh, when the kids, we have weather ministers in the classroom, and when they come to the school in the morning, they get to choose what is the weather that day using these cards, all made from discarded cardboard with a magnet stuck at the back, very resourceful. So the kid chooses what weather is today, and he just goes and puts it up on the wall on the blackboard. Right? So what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to make sure that where my kids are born and brought up doesn't impede their opportunities that they get in life. So I'm trying to open up the world to them. I'm trying to do Skype conferences with UK and US classrooms using Teach for America and Teach First. I'm trying to get people who are leaders, doctors, firemen, police officers into my classroom to expand the horizons of the children. Why should they all be only doctors and engineers? Why should I kill their creativity? Why can't they be dancers, right? I want dancers to come into my classroom. I want artists, singers, hairstylists come into my classroom. Please talk to my children. I want to expand their horizon. So here you go. They are enacting a play using a textbook story. Rather than just reading the textbook, enact it. I mean, you become the characters yourself. So this is what we did as part of Being the Change on October 2nd. I asked the kids, what do you want to do? What do you want to be the change? So they said, let's clean up the garden. We'll have classes there. I said, brilliant. So we got all the kids together. We cleaned up the whole school garden. And the kids have 2 buckets there, one for plastic and one for paper. So it's all starting in Dharavi. I've never gotten so many friendship bands in my life ever, as much as that one day. In fact, the kids are so attached to 2 of my hand puppets in the classroom that they even tied friendship bands for Tinku and Manku. Hello, how are you? So they tied friendship bands for these 2 animals. All their hands were like full of friendship bands. So I'm sure they never got so many friendship bands as well in their life. So these kids 4 months ago who could not even read a word in English, they could not write their names. 30 of my 40 kids could not even write their names in English. Now they're writing words, they're writing sentences. Bhaiya will not be beating us. See what comes out of their mind? Bhaiya, no shouting. Bhaiya will bring toy. Bhaiya always smiling. And they say Bhaiya is beautiful. And Kajal wrote Bhaiya has a big nose. And this, I like my Gandhi Ji. So now Srini was confused. Should I put J-I or G? She didn't know J-I, so she just wrote G. And I was like, okay, that's not your problem, honey. It's like English. So you can see how colorful they write. And yeah, here she wrote bed. I like my bed. What she meant was Bhaiya. So they just don't stop writing now, all in 4 months. So I'm sure that, I'm not a teacher. I don't have any qualifications as a teacher, but I'm excellent in what I do. And I have the passion to do. I have the passion to bring the world to these children. And that's the proof. In 4 months, I've been able to bring these kids from 0 words to 20 words correct per minute in terms of reading fluency, 0 words written to sentences in 4 months. So without any qualification as a teacher. So I firmly believe in Teach for India's mission that excellent leaders bring in those excellent leadership qualities into the classroom. And so teaching is leadership. If you bring your leadership qualities into the classroom and open up the world to these children, we'll soon end the educational inequity problem in India. And we all become little hummingbirds to extinguish this forest fire of educational inequity in India. I mean, it's a major problem, but if we all do a little, we can all achieve more. So we should all join hands and do whatever we can. Fight the little forest fires in your apartment, in your community, around you, in your office. Educate a child. Just like my mother stood firm when nobody supported her with 20 rupees per day earning, she made sure that me and my brother get the education that we want. My brother is working in Oracle in the US now. So we come from a low-income background, just like my kids do, and I fully understand what it means to be from a low-income background. So that's what I'm trying to bring to these kids. So this is the last slide I want to show you. This kid cannot even put capital letters to small letters together, and he's already in 2nd standard, has been in school for 3 years in English medium. So this is the kind of challenge that I'm trying to fight every single day. So each one of us can become that hummingbird and try and end this problem of educational inequity one child at a time. Thank you so much. We will sing champion song now, okay? And Bhaiya will say 3, 2, 1. Keep it down. And now keep it down. Kajal. Keep it down. Keep it down. Okay, 3, 2, 1, okay? 3, 2, 1. We go back. Do you know who we are? We are smart and we are fun. And we are second to none. Thank you. All of you say we want to fly high. Thank you. Thank you so much.